Hi there, welcome back to my channel Educate with Milanjit. After a long time, we are meeting back with a new topic, and that is constitutional amendments in India. Before we go any further, if you had not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon for getting the notifications of my upcoming videos too. Also, like the video if you feel that the content was good, and comment in the comment section for any further clarification. So without any further waiting, let's move on to our topic. Like any other written constitution, the Constitution of India also provides for its amendment in order to adjust itself to the changing conditions and needs. However, the procedure laid down for its amendment is neither as easy as in Britain nor as difficult as in USA. In other words, the Indian Constitution is neither flexible nor rigid, but a synthesis of both. Article 368 in the Part 20 of the Constitution deals with the powers of the Parliament to amend the Constitution and also its procedure. It states that the Parliament may, in exercise of its constituent power, amend by the way of addition, variation, or repeal any provision of the Constitution in accordance with the procedure laid down for the purpose. However, the Parliament cannot amend those provisions which form the basic structure of the Constitution. This was ruled by the Supreme Court of India in the Keshavananda Bharati case in 1973. Now, do you all know what is the procedure for the amendment of the Constitution? The procedure for the amendment of the Constitution as laid in the Article 368 is as follows. An amendment of the Constitution can be initiated only by the introduction of a bill for the purpose in either house of the Parliament and not in the state legislatures. The bill can be introduced either by a minister or by a private member and does not require the prior permission of the President of India. The bill must be passed in each house by a special majority, that is, a majority of the total membership of the house and a majority of 2/3 of the members of the house present and voting. Each house must pass the bill separately. In case of a disagreement between the two houses, there is no provision for holding a joint sitting of the two houses for the purpose of the deliberation and passing of the bill. If the bill seeks to amend the federal provisions of the Constitution, it must also be ratified by the legislatures of half of the states by a simple majority, that is, a majority of the members of the House present and voting. After duly passed by both the houses of the Parliament and ratified by the state legislatures, where necessary, the bill is presented to the Honorable President of India for his assent. The President must give his assent to the bill. He can neither withhold his assent to the bill nor return the bill for reconsideration of the Parliament. After the Honorable President of India's assent, the bill becomes an act, that is, a Constitutional Amendment Act, and the Constitution stands amended in accordance with the terms of the Act. Article 368 provides for two types of amendments, that is, a special majority of the Parliament and also through the ratification of half of the states by a simple majority. But some other articles provide for the amendment of certain provisions of the Constitution by a simple majority of the Parliament, that is, a majority of the members of each house present and voting, similar to the ordinary legislative process. Notably, these amendments are not deemed to be amendments of the Constitution for the purpose of Article 368. Therefore, the Constitution can be amended in three ways. Number 1. Amendment by simple majority of the Parliament. Number 2. Amendment by special majority of the Parliament. And finally, number 3, amendment by special majority of the parliament and ratification of half of the state legislatures. Do you all know what all things can be amended by the simple majority of the parliament? The answer would be a number of provisions in the constitution that can be amended by a simple majority of both the houses of parliament outside the scope of Article 368. And these provisions include admission or establishment of new states, formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or names of existing states, abolition or creation of legislative councils in the states, the second schedule, that is, which contains the emoluments, allowances, privileges and so on of the Honorable President of India, the governors, the speakers, judges, etc., the quorum in the parliament, the salaries of the members of the parliament, the rules of procedures in the parliament, the privileges of the parliament, its members and its committees, use of English language in the parliament, number of judges in the Supreme Court of India, conferment of more jurisdiction on the Supreme Court of India, use of official language, citizenship, its acquisition and termination, election to the parliament and state legislatures, delimitation of constituencies, union territories, the fifth schedule, which deals with the administration of scheduled areas and scheduled tribes, and finally the sixth schedule, which deals with the administration of tribal areas. The majority of the provisions in the Constitution need to be amended by a special majority of the Parliament, that is, a majority of total membership of each house and a majority of 2/3 of the members of each house present and voting. Strictly speaking, the special majority is required only for voting at the third reading stage of the bill, but by way of abundant caution, the requirement for special majority has been provided for in the rules of the houses in respect of all the effective stages of the bill. The provisions which can be amended by this way includes the fundamental rights, the directive principles of state policy, and all other provisions which are not covered by the first and third categories of amendment. Those provisions of the Constitution which are related to the federal structure of the polity can be amended by a special majority of the Parliament and also with the consent of half of the state legislatures by a simple majority. If one or some or all the remaining states take no action on the bill, it does not matter. The moment half of the states give their consent, the formality is completed. There is no time limit within which the states should give their consent to the bill, and the provisions which can be amended in this way are as follows: the election of the Honorable President of India and the manner in which he or she is being elected, the extent of executive powers of the Union and the states, provisions pertaining to the Honorable Supreme Court of India and the respective High Courts, the distribution of legislative powers between the Union and the states, provisions pertaining to the Goods and Services Tax Council, any of the lists in the 7th schedule, that is, the 3 types of lists which are Union list, State list and concurrent list, provisions pertaining to the representation of states in the Parliament, and finally the powers of Parliament to amend the Constitution and its procedure. Today we had learned about the 3 types of amendments in the Indian Constitution and the various provisions which can be amended by each of them. I hope you all like the video. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section if you have any queries. And please show your support by liking and subscribing the channel. Till we meet with a new topic, auf Wiedersehen.